What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a Horizon MMO and if it would even work. So I want to talk about the rumor part of this first and get out of the way because I want this to be more of a discussion on the actual thing if it were to ever happen, right? So the rumor for it is, well, actually, this was long rumored. This has been something that's been out there for many, many years, and the newest rumor is, and not even a rumor, it's still happening, right? This thing is still happening. It's going to be years and years away. There's some speculation of like maybe this is like a 2026 kind of window thing. So this is not something that's releasing this year, next year, nothing like that. But this is probably, unless it gets canceled, right? And it's possible things change, right? Sony seemingly has made changes with the live service kind of approach, and you could see it even with like The Last of Us, etc., of games that are kind of being, maybe they're pulled, maybe Sony wanted them, but now they don't. So yeah, something could change with this for sure. Now, would that actually work? I'll say honestly, I think the answer is yes. I really believe the answer is yes. Monster Hunter is a good one to look. Now, not necessarily an MMO, but Monster Hunter would be a very, very good comparable of if you want a live service game, which again, as we talked about with Sony, they clearly do, at least to some extent. Horizon makes a lot of sense. This is a game that can kind of be everlasting if you put it in that genre, right? Different machines, and you kind of just keep updating it. Different tribes, different quests, playing it with other people. There's been the long talked about thing, and this is not even a rumor, this has, been confirmed. They've tried for ages, or they've wanted to for ages, to make these games co-op, right? The original pitch for the first game, they wanted co-op in that. They couldn't do it. They wanted it again for the second one. They couldn't do it. Now, I don't know if this, because, there's been rumors of just like a multiplayer offering for Horizon. I don't know if that's the same thing as this. I don't think it is. And honestly, I would hope that maybe for like a Horizon 3 to do some sort of either co-op or you do some sort of multiplayer edition like you did with Ghost of Tsushima, adding in Legends, not to get too much into that Insomniac hack, but even a lot of those upcoming games and maybe even past games, they want to or are going to do multiplayer elements. It definitely seems like if you can make one of these Sony games have a multiplayer component, they're going to do it. Maybe not at launch, but eventually they'd like to get some sort of multiplayer component in as many of these games as possible. So I think we see multiplayer for, even without this MMO, I think you see some sort of multiplayer in Horizon 3. And then if whichever comes first, right? If that comes first, if this MMO comes first. But I just think, too, when you think of like literally any MMO, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, I just think the basic concept of it would actually work extremely, extremely well with Horizon, right? Because it's got a ton of lore, and we've talked about this like on the channel. I'm actually pretty interested in the lore of Horizon. I don't think they do the greatest job of like putting that onto us in the games. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of explanations. There's a lot of listening that you have to do to kind of get the history. It's, again, to me, it's interesting, but I don't know how many people actually care for it. The good thing is when it comes to an MMO, you can put that in. It can be a major factor. And again, you don't have to really pay attention to it if you don't want to, right? It's more about just going out hunting, finding different things, bringing them back. A lot of fetch quests. Like I think that actually works quite well with Horizon, doing it with other people. But like I said, really maybe the thing more than anything else is like the enemies. You think to MMOs and you think to the different enemy types and you think to kind of these bigger bosses or things that multiple groups of people would go after and take down together. That I think fits Horizon perfectly. They already have a really big variety of enemies. They have big ones, they have small ones, so you have kind of like your grunts, right, as you're grinding or leveling up. You got your big ones for like more world boss or world event kind of things. I think it actually would work extremely, extremely well. You got your ways of traversing the land and, sea and air, like literally just traversing in general, right? Ways of getting from point A to point B faster on land, water, air, all of that stuff. So, the more I say it, I number one, I absolutely think it would work. Number two, I absolutely think I would play it. And I'm not an MMO guy. I've always wanted to play Star Wars The Old Republic. Never have done it. Want to do it eventually for a video, but I just have never done it. DC Universe Online, like I played that. I watched my friend growing up probably play hundreds of hours of World of Warcraft. So like I've definitely seen MMO. I just haven't really experienced any all that much. And I really, do I need 1,000 MMOs in my life? No. Would I play an MMO for like over years of, spanning? No, probably not. But I mean, would I try it? Absolutely. And again, do I think it would work? I really think it's a match. I think it would really work for Horizon. So I'm kind of rooting for it. And I got to be honest, here's the most controversial thing I'll say. I think depending on the person, you could probably have this be the best Horizon game that's come out. Because Horizon, for as much as it's done well, like the first game sold so well, second one I don't think it's done nearly as well as the first, but the Horizon franchise is pretty popular, but it's also, you talk about like Last of Us Part 2, it's a pretty divisive franchise. There's a lot of people that love it, but there's also just a lot of people that are flat out not interested in it at all. And I mean, some of it's like on the game itself or just like the kind of game. And again, well, maybe like does an MMO bring them in, or, would that be a better fit for that person? But I really think if you had, say, an MMO that comes out in a couple of years and then Horizon 3, say, in back-to-back years, I think depending on the person, the MMO might be the better of those two games. You just have to kind of see. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.